We've got big news in the Twitter world. Let's take a look.
From the Daily Mail, Elon Musk becomes Twitter's biggest shareholder after buying 9.2% stake on March 14th. New SEC filing reveals sending shares soaring 26%. The world's richest man owns quadruple the shares of its founder, Jack Dorsey. His passive stake is valued at up to $2.9 billion based on Friday's stock close. It has prompted Twitter's share price to soar 26% in pre-market trading.
With us, we've got our brother Nick. Nick, what does all this mean? You've analyzed this a little bit. Talk to us.
What this means is that Elon Musk now has 9% of Twitter. Now, that doesn't mean that he is the de facto owner of Twitter or anything else, and it doesn't mean that there's going to be massive sweeping changes coming or anything like that. What it does mean, though, is that he has 9% influence when it comes to board elections and getting people on the board, maybe even himself, to carry out the vision that he may have for Twitter. I think one of the big things about this where it says his passive stake. Now, for those who don't understand what that means, if you're doing and buying a passive stake in a company when it comes to buying stock shares, it means you are long-term investing. And I'm sure he has, as more stocks become available, he'll auto buy to keep this.
So a passive stake means that, what does that mean exactly? One more time.
Passive stake, when you buy a passive stake in a company, it means that you're going to do a long-term investment, which means he's not going anywhere. It's also usually one of the first steps that is taken in a takeover or a complete buyout. Again, though, that doesn't mean that he is the de facto owner of Twitter, because the second biggest shareholder in Twitter is Vanguard. And Vanguard owns 8%. So they have 8% influence when it comes to board meetings and people who sit on the board and get elected to board. And people who don't know who Vanguard is, they are one of those two huge hedge funds that owns just about every company in the world.
Who's the other company out of interest?
BlackRock.
Of course.
Oh, BlackRock.
Pan, what do you think this is going to mean for free speech on Twitter? Is it going to be affected?
Wow, I really don't know too much about Musk's stance, but I do think that he is more for freedom of speech than possibly the previous Twitter owners. From Elon Musk on Twitter: given that Twitter serves as the de facto public town square, failing to adhere to the free speech principles fundamentally undermines democracy. What should be done? And he's quote tweeting himself. And he had previously said, free speech is essential to a functioning democracy. Do you believe Twitter rigorously adheres to this principle? Wow. Freedom of speech for those voices that they want you to hear on Twitter.
The thing about this is that this was done March 25th. This stock purchase happened on March 14th. So he has already spent all that money and bought all this stock in Twitter. And then he puts up these cryptic posts about, the free speech and all this other stuff. And then he puts up that poll about, should I make my own platform and do this kind of stuff. And then over the weekend, you had Jack Dorsey doing his weird cryptic monologue where he was basically doing a Maricopa about how he was sorry that he brought the quote-unquote damage he has done to the internet by bringing it into the corporate umbrella.
We have @Jack on Twitter, and he says, the days of Usenet, IRC, the web, even email with PGP were amazing. Centralizing discovery and identity into corporations really damaged the internet. I realize I'm partially to blame, and I regret it.
Yeah, and the internet that he's talking about there is what is known as Web 1. And then there is Web 2, which is what we're in right now. And this set of tweets was really cryptic and kind of threw me because he has never been one for, decentralizing anything when it comes to this. And now he's doing this weird Maricopa, and this happens. What's the date on this? The April the 2nd. So that happened that happened on Saturday. So the stock purchase has already been made the 14th. Musk puts out his tweets on the 25th. And now you have this Jack doing this on April the 2nd, doing this weird Maricopa kind of deal where, he's not saying that it shouldn't be decentralized, which is Web3. And that would be your apps like Diaspora, Mastodon, and the ones that are based on blockchain like Minds. And there's another one whose name's I've forgotten right now, Bastion or something like that. But I think that he's more upset that it's in the hands of corporations, i.e. Musk coming in and buying all this, because Elon Musk's stock purchase is 4 times what Jack owns. Jack owns 2.3 something %, where Elon's at 9. So Jack has been made mostly irrelevant at this point. So I think he's kind of setting himself up to be the poster boy for government centralized social media like they have in China. That seems to be the way that to me, it seems like he's going. Do I think that Twitter under Elon Musk, if things change, is going to be more about free speech? I think Pan kind of hit it on the nose when it's free speech, as long as it's speech that they want to be free, because both Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey are not fans of Web3. Period. They don't like it. This other point that I wanted to make was his passive stake. Again, there's that passive stake in the company is valued up to $2.9 billion on the stock's Friday close. And the estimated cost of the deal was $2.4 billion, according to the stock price on March 14th when he bought the shares. The news prompted Twitter stock to soar by more than 26% in pre-market trading before Wall Street opened on Monday, meaning his shares are now worth $3.6 billion, earning him an interested $1.2 billion in 3 weeks.
Wow.
The way that they do this, like, we've just come out of the end of the first quarter, and if you come in as like a company at the very end of the first quarter and your stock, you announce something like this, then they are going to punish you for it in the second quarter, because your earnings and your profit and your stock price will be adjusted higher. Like if you go and look at Tesla actually came in under its earnings reports for the first quarter, but just slightly, due to the manufactured supply chain issues of microchips and all this other stuff. But Musk has been selling most of his stock in Tesla. But as of 10:30 this morning, the last time I looked at it, Tesla stock was up some 23%. So it's, there's a lot of money moving around and changing hands, and there's a lot of money to be made. But you wouldn't have announced this when you were getting ready to close out the first quarter, because they would have changed your earnings reports. And if you didn't hit that, then all that money would have been erased. And so everybody on Twitter who I've seen today who have been asking the question, are you going to, reinstate? Does this mean that Elon Musk has the power to reinstate Babylon B's account, or Donald Trump's account, or this account or that account? In theory, no, he doesn't have that power. Also, I wouldn't hold your breath on him happening anytime soon, because right now, until a new board is elected and all this other stuff, it's still going to stay the way that it is. I mean, this isn't. I see Elon Musk as like a chaotic force in all things that he is involved in. Sometimes he is chaotic good. Sometimes he is chaotic evil. I akin him to listening to Nickelback. You like him, but you don't want anyone to know that you like him. It's that kind of deal.
Thank you for your time, Nick. Very interesting ideas. Pat, I'm hoping that we just don't get banned on Twitter anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no more getting banned on Twitter, Mr. Elon Musk. If you can help us out, we'd appreciate it.
Please, what do they say? All I want is 40 acres and a mule, and let my people go. Hail freedom! Hail, brethren. Thank you for your time. Be sure to check out wcfreedom.com right over here. And if you want to know more about our roots and you're interested in where we came from, the best way to do that is to take a look at the products that we've done while fighting the culture war, and that's Vestige and BULLETMAKER. Let me show you over here. You got Vestige. This is a metal cover. That's right. Vestige 3 is coming out very shortly. Very soon it is going to be laid out, and that's about it. It needs one more edit. And we've got BULLETMAKER, which is a post-apocalyptic pre-Armageddon action fantasy. The link is in the description. If Kentaro Miura's BERSERK, if that rings a bell and you're interested, I think you're going to love this. And Vestige is really near and dear to my heart. That's the Black Dragon. Take a look right there. Look at that. That's a real metal cover. Thank you so much for your time. And, of course, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Pan. Appreciate it. And hail, brothers. All right. God damn.
Right.
I'm like a dancing monkey over here, bro.
You're the pitch man. You're giving the pitch,
I like the beard with the
You like that?
The ties at the bottom. It gives you that I am a race car look to you.
Oh, holy